Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I've come with something exciting. Have you been frauded before, or do you know anyone who ever lost money to a group of people, or to a website, or to a mobile application in the name of Bitcoin? We are going to dig so deep into Bitcoin, and I'll be giving you some basic information about what Bitcoin is and how can you use it, where do you get it, and where did it start from. Tap on that notification button and subscribe as well so that you don't miss our upcoming videos on this topic and so many more topics that I'll be telling you about. Now, Bitcoin was created by a group of people or a person called Nakamoto Satoshi. We don't know if this was one person or just a group of people, but in 2008, this coin was created. Now, Bitcoin is money. It's a currency, just like your currency in your country, where you're watching us from, just like a dollar. So it does exactly the same thing as money does. It's a commodity which gains value, that it started on a lower value, now it's on a higher value. It's a peer-to-peer transaction system. If you need money, I can send it to you using Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money. I can use Bitcoin to pay for something. I can use Bitcoin to invest into something. So Bitcoin is money. It does exactly the same thing as your currency, as your pound, your dollars, everything that money does. So in 2008, as I was telling you, it was created by this man, a woman, a group of people we don't know, called Satoshi Nakamoto. By the name, you might say it's originated from Japan, but we're not sure. On 18 August 2008, a guide how to use Bitcoin was put on the internet. When Helfini downloaded this file, Nakamoto sent him the first Bitcoin, which were 10 Bitcoins. Now that was the first transfer of Bitcoins from another person to another person, and it was successful. And that was done on 12th Jan 2009. Now remember, Bitcoin was created in 2008, but all that time it was not in circulation. Laszlo used Bitcoin to make the first commercial transaction. He bought 2 pizzas from Papa John's using 10,000 Bitcoins. That was the very first commercial transaction done using Bitcoin. It's not centralized, like I should send money or use this money to buy something, but it should not go through the bank. It should not be through someone else who does my transaction. I should be doing my transaction person to person without any third party. It's decentralized, that it cannot be controlled by anyone. It doesn't have to go through approval of anyone, not a bank, not any institution. So it's totally free. Someone sends you money from anywhere in the world, that money comes to you. So from then, it started gaining value. Mostly the people who wanted to use this, or from where it got popularity, was in the black market, like the Silk Road. These people did illegal transactions, so they paid each other, or they paid for these transactions using Bitcoin. In 2011, it started gaining value. From the time it was created to 2011, 1 Bitcoin was worth $0.30. From then, in the same year, it gained value to $5. As we talk right now, 1 Bitcoin is standing at $9,200. And from then on, there are so many coins that are out there, but then they've not gained value like Bitcoin, or they are not doing so much like Bitcoin, apart from one exceptional coin, which is called the Bitcoin Vault. Now the Bitcoin Vault does exactly what Bitcoin does, but the good thing is that it's gaining value on a very higher rate. And if you missed out on the Bitcoin when it started, now is the time. I'll be teaching you how to get Bitcoin Vault, and how to get money out of it. That will be in the next video when I dig deep into the details of Bitcoin Vault. But in case you want to be part of this and you want to get more information before I make that video, please subscribe and leave a comment down below. I'll be replying to so many of your comments, or you can also send me a personal message on those handles down there. You can see the Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. They're all down there. You can send me a personal message. I'll be giving you some information on how to get started in mining Bitcoin Vault, which so many people are getting money out of, like these people.
So what is a Bitcoin, and how were you able to become a millionaire at the age of 21?
A Bitcoin is something that we should call a digital currency. And I think for us to understand it properly, we need to understand exactly what a digital currency is and what it entails. So when we speak about Bitcoin, we're speaking about a digital currency which has been encrypted, or rather using encryption techniques. That's how it's created. Now, what these encryption techniques do, they do two things. One, they validate and approve transactions that actually happen. And two, they regulate the generation of units of this currency. So better understood, the first thing that they do is that they regulate how you actually move or transact between two people. So that's why it's usually called peer-to-peer currency, because it's a currency that people can use between two people. So that's the first thing that they do. Now, the second thing is they regulate the generation of units of this currency to make sure that it's not being duplicated or counterfeited or faked or being created somewhere else. So this is what this encryption technique does. So basically, it's a digital currency which encryption techniques are used to actually create it. And we now know it as Bitcoin, and obviously there are now other ones, but exactly that's what Bitcoin is. Now, my journey to how I became a millionaire is, it started off in university when a lady asked me to buy Bitcoin for her, and she gave me 1,000 Rand and asked me to buy her Bitcoin. At the time when I bought the Bitcoin, it was worth very little, but what happened is overnight the value jumped from 1,000 to 10,000. And that's when I realized, actually, there's something in this. There's something special about this. There's something that I should research and gain interest in, get knowledge about it, and begin to understand this thing. So that's when I got involved with cryptocurrencies.
There is no Bitcoin company. There is no Bitcoin building. There's not even a Bitcoin server anywhere that you could shut down. It is completely distributed. That's what's unique about Bitcoin. It is, for the first time, a way for the two of us to exchange value online without a third-party intermediary. Until the invention of Bitcoin, for you and me to exchange money online, we had to employ a third party, like PayPal, like Visa, like MasterCard.
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient.
But Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill, okay? We are entering a completely world of uncharted water right now.
Have you made any investments in Bitcoin?
So, I mean, I personally own Bitcoin in my hedge fund. I own Bitcoin in my fund. I own Bitcoin in my private account. It is a huge deal. It's being used everywhere where you would think it would be used. Russia, Iran, Iraq, Egypt, Venezuela, Argentina, everywhere where you have currency pressure, everywhere where you want to basically shield your assets. And then after that, it'll probably become a payment mechanism. So in all of these three industries, you're talking about trillions of dollars up for grabs. Up for grabs.
But
right?
Bitcoin, I'm still predicting Bitcoin, $10,000 per Bitcoin in 3 years. And Bitcoin has created a whole infrastructure of many companies, some of which came out of Boost, the incubator.
You're trading at 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Rick Falkvinia does an excellent analysis. He predicts that Bitcoin will capture between 1 and 10% of the global Forex market, which implies a price of between $100,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin. Most of the people who are on the sidelines not buying Bitcoin today will start to buy Bitcoin when it gets over 1,000. And then a greater percentage of people will definitely plow into Bitcoin when it starts to get over 10,000.
Currency is the future, or is it the payment system they're developing?
Bingo, it's the payment system. It's the blockchain encryption, and they're interesting things. I think Bitcoin, or the really blockchain encryption that's behind it, has a greater ability to bring more of the world's population out of poverty than anything we've seen in.
Well, for one thing, it's a cheap payment system.
For one thing, it's a cheap payment system, but it's more important than that. It's more important than that. Blockchain cryptography is all about digital transfer of ownership in a completely transparent and public way.
Bitcoin is something that you've been interested in and supportive of. In fact, one can pay for a tour on Virgin Galactic up to the moon with Bitcoin. I think the Winklevoss twins have said that they would do exactly that. You think this is a currency that's really going to work eventually?
Well, I think it is working, and there will be other currencies like it that may be even better. But in the meantime, there's a big industry around Bitcoin, and people have made fortunes out of Bitcoin.
That is all about Bitcoin. That's where it started from. But as I said, stay around, click on that notification button and subscribe. Next time, I'll be telling you, where do you get Bitcoin? How do you use Bitcoin? Where do you sell Bitcoin? And what can you get out of Bitcoin? And I'll be also guiding you on how to identify fake websites or fake people if they are talking about Bitcoin. There are so many people who have lost money in this, but it's because they did not have the information about Bitcoin. I'll be giving you all this information as we go on. Be blessed and stay well.